Very good morning, everyone. My name is Michael McDonough, Chief Archaeologist in the National Monument Service. We're delighted to welcome you all again here this morning, our sixth annual conference that we organise in partnership with Archaeology Ireland and Wordwell and Dublin Castle OPW. I have a simple job now, which is to introduce Minister Malcolm Noonan, Minister of State for Electoral Reform and Heritage. May I just say, I'm not sure we could have got a better minister over the last few years. Our thanks to Minister Noonan for always turning up and for being ever present at so many of our events and being so supportive. So Minister, I'll welcome Minister Noonan to the stage.
Michael, agus Majin Ma, I card Galir on shots and honored shot a Cashlon body or clear. August Steve shoot at all brand new Arlena. Tafalcha Moore Road kun quick or Kodal Shan Oliakta done service Shan Kola Orti Noshunta. Good morning, everyone. And you're all very welcome to this beautiful venue here in Dublin Castle, and to everybody viewing online, and very welcome to the 6th National Monuments Service Conference. And I suppose this is our 6th year, and we certainly have struggled through restrictions in the past and through COVID restrictions, and having hybrid systems and online, and it's great to be here in person in this really beautiful venue. And as was the intention 6 years ago, we do feel we now have established this event very firmly on the calendar, and it's really one that is looked forward to very much by the archaeology sector and the wider public as well. And again, it's important too that all of the themes and the talks are accessible, that they're thought-provoking, and very much in terms of this year's theme as well, and very much of a high quality. And again, this all comes down to the organisers, to the speakers. I just want to thank all of our expert speakers and session chairs for today, for their wisdom, for sharing their academic passion and their enthusiasm. I want to thank Una, Sharon and the team in Archaeology Ireland for putting together such an amazing conference programme. And it is really only through your own expert assistance that this event is able to happen. I want to acknowledge and thank also our OPW colleagues here in Dublin Castle for the support, for supporting us with this event. And it is such a special venue, and the venue is always important. I think this place is just fantastic. So we will be back here again in a few weeks to launch the beautiful St. Patrick's Hall, to launch Volume 2 of our Dublin Castle excavation project series, which looks at the excavations of the Viking Age archaeology. And I'm really looking forward to being part of that celebration of archaeology, of archaeologists, and of this fascinating castle complex, and of the work of our National Monument Service. I want to take an opportunity this morning to acknowledge my colleagues in the National Monument Service. And it's been a pretty incredible year, hasn't it, Michael and Imirce? I think it's just we've had a very whirlwind of a year, but a very productive and a very fruitful year. First of all, overseeing €8 million of Community Monuments Funds grants this year alone, and you can see that transformation right across the country in communities up and down the country. As I travel, it's fantastic when I see a church being restored or a monument being restored. I know that our fund is embedding itself in communities and using skilled people and skilled craftspeople in their restoration. It's just wonderful to see that. We've also been leading policies on climate adaptation, on World Heritage and underwater cultural heritage, leading on Heritage Ireland 2030, and dealing with unprecedented planning and licensing caseload, supporting archaeological research with the Royal Irish Academy and the Irish Research Council, and working with our OPW colleagues and other supporting professional bodies and stakeholders, and forging creative partnerships such as the one with the Wordwell and Archaeology Ireland that deliver such really wonderful events as today. And last but certainly not least, the NMS is delivering transformative new legislation with our Monuments and Archaeological Heritage Bill that have been really honoured. I've been privileged to be the Minister that has steered this through the Oireachtas this year. It's been a really fantastic year of delivery by a really amazing team of civil servants who rarely get any credit for this, but it's, I think, 13, 14 years in the offing, Michael, is that correct? But it's, I just want to thank all of them for their work. We closed out the report and final stage in the Dáil on September 27th, and there was a palpable sense of relief on the faces of our team when we came out of the Dáil chamber. We're in the Shannon next week, and please God, all going well, it will be winging its way to Archaeology to be signed by the President, so it's just a privilege to be part of it. And over the last few years, our conferences have explored connections of various types between communities and archaeology. Last year's conference focused on the remarkable archaeological heritage of Ireland's Boyne Valley and its links to communities of the past and present and the wider prehistoric world. And we are, of course, delighted to have secured ownership of Dowth Hall and the lands on behalf of the people of Ireland in recent days to create a new Brú na Bóinne National Park in the heart of a World Heritage property. It's our 7th national park and our first in 25 years, and a real tangible connection to the first farmers and where farming needs to be going into the future. So it has immense potential, and we're really thrilled to have brought it to fruition in the term of this government. This year's conference focuses on a range of factors that comprise the very meaning of community and identity through the past. The movement of peoples, bringing with them their cultural identities, has left enduring legacies that continue to affect communities to this day. There are many and varied reasons for the large-scale movement of people: failure of crops or lack of food, natural disasters, the search for better economic opportunities, or to escape conflict or persecution. Reasons are not always obvious when viewed through the tunnel of time. Archaeology can help us to understand how and why and when of these events, and teach us how what has happened in the past can shape our future. And never has archaeology been more important in helping us to adapt to a changing world and a changing climate. Where we have come from and where we settle shapes us both individually and collectively, and these help define our identity. Genetic data can help map movements, and one of the discussions I'm really interested in hearing is the Irish DNA Atlas, along with other thought-provoking talks. I'm fascinated by the wide range of topics being discussed today, a journey that will take us from coffee plantations in Cuba to copper mines in South Australia, back to the Boyne Valley and beyond. I'm not able to stay with you for the whole day, unfortunately, but I do look forward to the publication of today's proceedings next year. And speaking of which, I just have in my hand, fresh off the press, the proceedings of last year's conference, Boyne and Beyond. It's a really beautiful publication, so hopefully you're all looking forward to getting a copy of that at some point. And again, just to thank Wordwell for their really wonderful work in producing this. It's a really great credit to the designers of all of last year's conference and speakers and their research. And it's also a fitting testament to the archaeological story of Brú na Bóinne and the legacy of Professor George Owen. And George was in our thoughts yesterday as I visited the National Monument Service and National Museum of Ireland Cultural Resource Centre, and I really had an absolutely fascinating morning. Far too short, I have to say. I could have just delved in there for absolute days. I was like a child in a sweet shop. And I just want to thank all of the team I met there yesterday. And, you know, I do think we need to start planning for a state-of-the-art facility into the future. I think it's critically important. But what an incredible collection, and what a great group of people that are taking care of that. So, all things going well politically, hopefully I'll be able to join you again next year. That's out of my hands, but you just never know. But Michael tells me that the date is set for Saturday, the 12th of October. I hope it's not the election day. And, but again, I just want to thank you all for this morning, and I wish you all a very productive and fruitful day, and enjoy the conversations and the presentations, but it promises to be a really fascinating day. Gor míle maith go léir.